Ten of Wands is a card that comes up when the seeker or their angels or the guardians want to call attention to the fact that the current seeker or the current situation is not being seen for what it is. They're concerned that the seeker is overwhelmed, there's too much on their plate, and they're not seeing everything. So first, let's do a quick overview of the card. So when we're looking at this card, we see someone holding 10 wands, and the load is so heavy, their back is bent, they can't even look up, they can't look beyond the wands, all they can see is the wands. But when we look further into the card, the first thing we see is it's actually blue sky. There's beautiful blue sky, there's no obstacles on his path, it's just he can't see it because he's holding on to these 10 wands. And if he takes a moment to put down the wands and to drop the load, he can see everything around him. He can see the beauty, the connection, the joy around, but he's choosing to carry these instead of releasing them. When the Ten of Wands comes up to a seeker, it's because the universe is concerned that the soul has too much on their plate. They're not seeing what's positive. This card can come up if someone's only focusing on the negative of a situation or focusing only on their expectation. More often than not, this card comes up when we take on too much or we're doing too much for little gain. So the Ten of Wands comes up to gently tell the seeker, okay, you have a lot on your plate right now. It's okay to know, to say no, and also to put some things down or to let some energy go so you can focus on what's surrounding you. Some additional notes of the Ten of Wands is the seeker may feel burdened with energy around. It is a sign that energy needs to clear before they can see their path. It's also a card that kind of calls us to reconnect with our energy, to listen to happy Reiki music to help clear any negative energy that's not ours, to redirect the energy onto what's positive, to know that it's okay to talk to someone about what's frustrating you or why you may feel overwhelmed. Very important to know that it's okay to say no to new projects at this time. And it's also to a sign that maybe the seeker has too much on the go and they're not having enough time for themselves. If the seeker is asking for a general message, this is an indication that the energy at this time is so overworked that energy is not clear. And it's just very gently saying that it may be wise to take a step back, let everything settle, rest, recharge. That would be the focus. If the seeker is asking about their career or business, this is an energy where it's important to kind of reorganize their goals, like to focus on, okay, what is their priority? What do you need to focus on now? Because there's just too many things in the fire. It can be a sign that the seeker needs to rest. Maybe it's time for a vacation. And it's also to, more often than not, especially with work or career, it's important to start asking for help or finding more support for you just to help you nurture this time, especially with your business and your career. If the seeker is asking regarding a romantic situation, so if the seeker is single, this could be a gentle sign from the guardians that the seeker has way too much on the go to focus on romance, and the universe may be saying, okay, focus on your career, focus on your home. There's just too much energy going on right now for clarity regarding partnership. And it's also too just a gentle sign that right now may not be the time to focus on love. If the seeker is in a relationship, this can be a sign that both partners feel maybe a bit overworked. They may feel they're not getting supported as much as they should be. Most likely, more times than not, it's actually outside of the relationship. It's usually an external frustration. Maybe they're being overworked, or maybe there's a family situation that just don't feel rested. So this card, if it comes up regarding a partnership, it's important to make sure everyone's feeling heard and getting the support that they need. It would be a really good time to create some rest for both of you, maybe getting a massage together, having a romantic getaway, just something to reconnect for both of you. Additional notes: the Ten of Wands is ruled by fire. The astrological influences are Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and sometimes Scorpio. You're looking for a shift in this energy or when the moon goes into Aries. So this is when the burden or the heavy energy should lighten up a bit. You want to make a note, is this a new moon, full moon, waxing moon, or a waning moon? Because this would be part of it. The numeric influence is 10, and the number 10 is a beautiful number because it's the beginning and the divine. The 1 represents beginnings and the 0 represents the divine. So this is an energy of a very powerful new beginning. The aura right now is guiding you more stronger than you realize, and look for positive changes. My personal interpretation of the Ten of Wands is this comes up when maybe we're not recognizing that maybe we're feeling frustrated or stressed or overwhelmed, and sometimes it's hard to see the positive. The Ten of Wands is just trying to get us to see the bigger picture, that there's joy and beauty all around us. We just need to free ourselves from the burden of stress. So when I see the Ten of Wands, it reminds me to, especially for the seekers, to recognize the work that they've done, they've completed it, and now it's time to celebrate and to reward themselves.